Joining us now, Democratic Congressman Hakeem Jeffries of New York. He is chairman of the House Democratic Caucus. Very good to have you on the show this morning, Congressman. So listening to President Biden last night in Pennsylvania, he still intends to address the nation Thursday night. What can we expect to hear from him, and how much of what the president has to say about MAGA Republicans will Democrats be using in the run-up to the midterms in their argument as to why they should be reelected or elected?
Well, good morning. It's great to be with you. It's my expectation that President Biden will both articulate the list of accomplishments that we have delivered for the American people in putting people over politics and fighting hard to lower costs for better paying jobs and safer communities, but also draw the contrast between the values that we are fighting to uplift, make life better for everyday Americans, lean into freedom and opportunity and democracy, and draw the contrast with extreme MAGA Republicans. They are extreme when it comes to wanting to criminalize health care and impose a nationwide ban on abortion. They are extreme when it comes to wanting to eliminate Social Security and Medicare in 5 years. And they also are extreme when it comes to our democracy. Apparently, they don't believe in it anymore.
President Biden really appears to be on a roll. If you look at points on the board, actual accomplishments, landmark legislation on a number of levels, and yet his approval ratings, they're beginning to creep up. Those in the know might even argue that they will creep up higher as time goes by and his accomplishments really are set in motion. Having said that, there are reports that some members of Congress are running for re-election may not want the president to be at their side. Is that wise, do you think?
Well, every individual member is going to have to make their own decision. We have an extraordinarily talented and accomplished and hardworking group of frontline members of Congress who have delivered a lot for the American people. I can say that I expect that we are all going to lean into the same record. And it's an extraordinary record. We passed the American Rescue Plan, saved the economy, put shots in arms, money in pockets, and kids back in school, passed the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act that will create millions of good-paying jobs, fix our crumbling bridges, roads, tunnels, airports, our mass transportation system. We passed gun safety legislation for the first time in 30 years. It is going to save lives. Passed the CHIPS and Science Act to bring domestic manufacturing jobs back home to the United States of America, as opposed to our jobs moving in the other direction. And of course, passed the Inflation Reduction Act, lower energy costs, confront the climate crisis, strengthen the Affordable Care Act, lower health care costs, and drive down the high price of life-saving prescription drugs. That's a record we can all embrace, and I'm thankful for President Biden's leadership in that regard.
As you know, Mr. Chairman, there are Republicans who are frustrated that Donald Trump continues to put himself at the center of the conversation. Heading into the midterms, they feel like they had a good shot at getting a wide margin in the House and taking the Senate as well. Do you think Democratic candidates should be talking about Donald Trump and his legacy? Should they be talking about what happened at Mar-a-Lago, where there's a new development every day from the Justice Department? Is that an important part of the conversation, or should they purely look forward?
I think it's always important to lean into the issues, which we have and will continue to do, lowering costs, better paying jobs, safer communities, but also to draw a contrast with what the extreme MAGA Republicans represent, which is values that are inconsistent with the American people. We should lift up democracy and freedom and opportunity, because that is what we are fighting to continue to protect and deliver for everyday Americans, and point out that you have a Republican Party that has been radicalized by the former, twice impeached, out of control, so-called 45th President of the United States of America, where appropriate. And we are still dealing with the implications of that radicalization and that extremism in the modern-day GOP that will be on the ballot in November of 2022.
Chairman of the House Democratic Caucus, Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, thank you very much for being on the show this morning.